know what time it is.
How it all works.
Come on.
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 What's up? What's going on, y'all? There's 8 of you guys hanging out. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. I see Sam is in the comments already. I love it. Bull City t-shirt says, good people. What's going on? GP says, how it all works. What's going on, man? Thank you so much for coming through and hanging out with us today. It is good. We're going to have a great time. We're going to have a great time. We're going to have a great time. Take a moment right now, tag a friend, share. Listen, if you've ever wanted to ask any questions about live stream, video, lighting, sound, listen, come on through. We're gonna have a good time. I'm looking to chat it up with you guys. This is our mid-month huddle. This is the one where we are actually looking for your questions. We have some questions that we're going to field. We're going to stir the pot. We're going to get the conversation flowing, but we want to hear from you. So for the 12 of you that are hanging out, I love it. I absolutely love it. Let me know where you guys are watching from. Let me know what you're doing. Are you on your commute home? If you're on my West Coast folks, I know it's 5 o'clock for you guys. For my East Coast folks, you guys should be at home by now. It's already 8 8 p.m. Want to know what you guys are hanging out doing. What's up, and where are you watching from? Right. So I'm in Huntsville, Alabama, Rocket City, as they say. Bull City says I'm in North Carolina. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. And while you guys are throwing some of that stuff in the chat, I want to show you guys real quick a couple of things that we got going on, some of the announcements that we got coming up,
Your number one source for live video news.
This is what happens when you mix your stuff up. I mix my screens up. All right, here we go. Now we're on the right screen. Gary Jones Jr. says, "What's up, everybody? It's good to see some of my mods in the chat as well." This is the site. Howitallworks.com. Howitall works.com. Definitely come through. Make sure that this site is bookmarked. Okay, make sure this site is bookmarked. It has everything that we are doing. I see BT is on the live. I see Brian Jones is on the live. What's going on, fam? Thank you guys so much for coming through and hanging out. But yeah, listen, on this, if you go right here, some people are like, hey, what's the link for tonight? You don't even need to know the YouTube or the Facebook or whatever, the LinkedIn link. You could just come right here and you can watch this joint right now. If I pressed play on this right here, right now, it would actually play the video that we're streaming to right now. So I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. But also on this page, we not only have our latest live show, which is the live show that we're in right now, but we also have our latest YouTube video, and that's on the screen right now. Evie Mux, the guest producer, experience what makes it different. That's a really cool video, something you should check it out. If you've ever done, any guest, if you've been a guest on a live show on any web-based streaming platform, or if you produced any live shows on streaming platforms, we're going to want to check out this video. This video is like that. Some of the stuff that we have going on Amazon, you can find that here on this page as well. And of course, the latest and greatest from the podcast. If you have not checked out this podcast from Justin Moore, I don't know what you're doing with your life. Thank you so much, Gary Jones, for putting that link in the comment. But listen, Justin Moore is on a mission. I'm going to just read that joint. A mission to help creators big and small land 1 million sponsorships in the next 10 years by 2032 is what he said. And this guy is building out a catalog of resources to make sure that happens. I'm telling you, you're going to want to check out that podcast. You want to check out that show. A couple weeks back, we had him on. Definitely want to make sure you guys get a chance to take advantage of that. And with that said, now is the time when we want to hear the news.
Your number one source for live video news.
All right. The news. In the news, we have Synthesia.io. How many of you are familiar with Synthesia.io? Synthesia.io is a website. So this is a web-based platform for creating videos with AI avatars and voices. So the website is on the screen right there, Synthesia.io. You might want to check this out. If you're thinking about launching a new YouTube channel and you want to just use a voice, you could create the script and then have something voice it, and maybe even utilize a avatar. This thing will do the work for you. You can actually create one free AI video on the site as a kind of startup thing. So definitely something to check out. A lot of platforms using it already. Reuters, Teleperformance, Nike, Google, BBC, using it for their training programs and training content for their companies. So this is definitely one to check out. Another one to check out. Another new Canon mirrorless camera emerges. This is a rumor, but it is a fairly solid rumor. So this thing is the Canon EOS R100. Canon EOS R100. Oh, that makes me insecure. I feel like it's a robot is going to replace me. Oh no. Listen, we're gonna talk about that some, Sam, in just a second. But this is the Canon EOS R100. It's 24.2 megapixel APS-C sensor, Digic X processor. It's 4K, 30 frames per second, 12 FPS continuous burst. This thing is crazy. But here's the piece that I highlighted. You maybe you can see that if you're watching on a big screen, but the part that I highlighted in the screenshot says, with the vari angle touchscreen, dual pixel AF right? And the lack of a viewfinder, it would be a good bet that Canon is aiming this camera at vloggers. Canon is aiming this camera. I see you out there, GP. That is correct. Canon is aiming this camera at vloggers. They're coming for, they finally trying to put something out there to compete with like the ZV-E10 and stuff like that. But yeah, and of course it's actually very lightweight. It's a very small package. So it could be great for like, you know, vlogging, hiking, travel. And then of course you have the ability to switch out those RF lenses. Those RF lenses are critical. Another really cool item in the news is this video pencil. I got a chance to chat with my guy, David Paskin. David Paskin was highlighting this video pencil. So there is a way for especially those who are using tier 3 streaming platforms like platforms like Ecamm, vMix, and OBS, as well as a couple others. I think Wirecast does this as well, where you can connect your iPad, and then by using a green screen on your iPad, you can actually write on the screen, similar to what you see David Paskin's doing in the screenshot next to me. But Video Pencil is a new app that is in beta right now. You can actually test it. I think you go to the site, squares.tv/video pencil. I don't know how or why I didn't put that on the screen. I thought I put that on the screen, but that's my bad. I'll try and put that in the show notes. Squares.tv/video pencil. You can try this out, and you can actually just write right on the screen. I think it's going to be absolutely amazing. And if you want to type on screen, you can actually voice type using this video pencil to voice type onto the screen. That's pretty awesome. That's pretty awesome. The live selling phenomenon has gone nowhere. It has lost zero momentum. And in fact, YOLO Live, which is a company that we have highlighted here in the news a couple of times because of some of the products that they're putting out there. One that they just put out that is specifically for TikTok and Instagram, because it mimics a phone but allows you to connect your HDMI enabled, DSLR or camera. You can connect that to the device and then use that to stream directly to Instagram without, violating the terms and conditions, the TOCs, right? But YOLO Live is coming out with something new, right? Something new. Like this joint right here, we're talking about September 28th. This is when this dropped. We're talking new stuff. This is news, y'all. But yeah, this is their version of live shopping. So that big screen you see right there, that is the actual device. It is connected to a camera and it has this entire live shopping experience. So YOLO Max is throwing their YOLO Max is the device from YOLO Live, and they're throwing their hat in the ring for this whole live shopping thing. So stay tuned, as I like to say to folks, watch this space. TikTok has said, we're not going to be left behind on this whole live shopping thing. We are not going to be left behind. We refuse to be left behind. So definitely want to make sure you guys are paying attention to this, because in the news, TikTok purchased a company called Talk Shop Live. They're working with Talk Shop Live, or they've actually purchased. I'm not certain. The details are still coming out, but they are clearly moving towards adding this kind of platform and this kind of experience to their platform. So yeah, TikTok is getting into the live shopping. Talk to me in the comments. What do you guys think about some of these things? TikTok getting into to the space. We got YOLO Max getting into this space. We have, Video Pencil that we can use to write on screen. That's a whole new experience for my trainers, my teachers, and other professionals that are in that space. Then we also have the ability we have these new cameras. We talked about the Z30 last week. We talked about other cameras, the Sony Cinema camera that's coming out there that just dropped last week or something like that. We talked about that recently. Live shopping is the future of shopping. Come on, Sam. This is the truth. We have so many different things that are coming, that are on the precipice of becoming reality, and I just want to make sure that you guys recognize that there is plenty to cover in the news. Since I started doing this news segment, I get so many messages from folks. Hey, have you heard about this? Hey, and you know, I have my sources that I'm checking, but you know, if you guys know of other items that we need to be including in the news, by all means, please let us know. We want to make sure we're able to do that. But with that all being said, and I've seen some of your comments there, we definitely want to get into what we came here for today. And that is to bring our special guest, Sam from Live Production Tips and Tools on screen so we can do our thing. I'm excited about that. Let's get into it right now.
The Mid-Month Huddle. The Mid-Month Huddle. With guest experts and our host, Kirk Nugent. Get your questions ready.
Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. This is it. We're ready to go. Let me get my drop my bomb here. Let's get some applause going. Come on, y'all, in the chat. Let's give a How It All Works welcome to my guy, Sam from Live Production Tips and Tools. We're excited to have you here. Hey, Sam, how you doing tonight, man?
I'm doing fantastic, man. How are you?
I'm doing good, man. I'm doing good. Listen, you know, I was checking. I was saying to somebody earlier, I was like, yo, Sam just celebrated 10,000 subscribers. I was incorrect. You just celebrated 12,000 subscribers, man. That is awesome. Yes, sir.
Yes,
Yeah,
sir.
man.
Thank you.
We want to make sure we shout you out for that, man. You're doing great work, clearly. And the you know, people are subscribing, and that's the ultimate form of compliment, where people are like, look, this is content that we need more of, so we want to make sure that we subscribe. So congrats to you on moving the needle. There was a time where we were neck and neck, and so you've kind of doubled me now. That's awesome, man.
I mean, it's unpredictable, man. Like,
it is.
Yeah. You may wake up tomorrow with like 100,000 subscribers. So you never know what's gonna happen, you know.
You don't know what's gonna happen, and these are the reasons why I always say to folks, it is okay to celebrate others. It is okay to celebrate others. Yeah, I see you guys in the chat. Everybody's saying welcome or congratulations to Sam. We appreciate the community coming out and sharing like this, man. Listen, listen. I want to make sure we get this thing on the screen here real quick. This is our first question. We want you to take a moment, Sam, to tell the viewers a little bit about yourself, your story, and what a typical week looks like for you. This is a unique question that we've kind of added in here. I hope that this is one that you don't mind answering for us. But yeah, tell the people a little bit about who you are and your story. Not necessarily content yet. We want to get into that in the second question, but talk to us a little bit about what a typical week looks like for you as well. Go ahead.
Well, my name is Sam. I create YouTube videos about live streaming and live recording. So I guess that's why I'm here.
Oh yeah.
And I've been creating since 2021.
Mm-hmm.
I have a video production kind of background, video production and live streaming. And as many other people in 2020, when the pandemic hit, I found myself with a lot of gear, cameras, and didn't have any work. So I started reaching out to churches mostly to help them live stream, because most people were actually home.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of people couldn't afford my rates, and I couldn't lower my rates either. So that's how I decided to actually start teaching or sharing all the stuff that I knew, because I thought people needed it, but they couldn't afford like paying $400, $500, $600 every week. So I was like, maybe I could actually do something with what I have. So I started in my home spare bedroom. I started creating videos and sharing my knowledge, teaching people how to live stream. And here we are.
Man, that is so cool, man. Listen, out of a need, right? An entire thing is born. And now here we are, 12,000 subscribers later. That is absolutely awesome. Travel Diva is on the live. Thank you so much for coming through. Travel Diva was on Amazon Live with me earlier today, and so I'm glad she was able to come back. I was telling the folks on Amazon earlier that you were going to be joining us tonight for the live show, and then I would be on your show tomorrow. So I'm looking forward to that as well. That's going to be a lot of fun.
I
But
think
man,
I know
listen.
Travel Diva. I think I know her from Amazon.
Yeah. She said,
Hey,
I'm familiar with Sam. That's exactly what she said
yeah,
in the comments. She's like, oh,
yeah, she's
Sam's good
cool.
people.
She's
Absolutely.
cool.
Absolutely. Listen, I want to throw this second question up here. We're moving right along. We want to get to your questions as well. How did you get started in? You kind of shared a little bit about your YouTube channel, but how did you get started in, let's say, live production? I mean, one of the things that we have as a major cross section for our channels and our audiences is that we have a lot of faith-based folks that
Yeah.
come to our channels that are looking for, just like your channel name says, live production tips and tools, right? So they're looking for best practices, they're looking for hacks, they're looking for ways to be able to get their work done. But you've taken a unique spin on it. I'd love to hear a little more about that in terms of, focusing on things that are attainable, within reach, right? So not as expensive as some of the other things. So talk to us a little bit about those pieces of what you do.
Yeah. So I try to use, obviously when you start on YouTube, you kind of have to learn a lot, right? I never been in front of a camera before, so I was always filming people. I was always behind the camera filming and managing production and stuff like that. So I was kind of forced into getting in front of the camera. So that was my first challenge, was that. And then obviously as you practice, as you do it, you keep doing it. Even now, I still suck. I'm sorry to say it, but I still watch my videos. Like the video that I did maybe 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, when I go back and watch it, I feel awkward. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah, so I just keep pushing and keep going. And obviously, I tried to use my struggles to actually teach other people. So let's say, I can't afford to use Ecamm Live. That's an example.
Yeah.
So what I would do, I would think of somebody who's in the same situation as me, who cannot afford maybe to pay $50 a month, and I'll
Wow.
try to find a solution for that person. In my case, would be maybe OBS, because
OBS.
it's free, and
Yeah.
then I start creating content around OBS. Same things, like I've been creating content about EV Max, which I actually learned from your channel, and
Wow.
I liked it. I like the vibe. I like the fact that it's actually affordable and is actually solving a specific problem. So that's
Problem.
really my approach. I try to solve problems for people. I try to help people, and I think maybe because when I started, I was kind of scared about like comments. I was like, yeah, maybe people are going to hate me. They're not gonna like the way I speak. Blah 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 blah. But then I realized that when you help people, actually
Yeah.
people focused on getting the solution or getting the help that they need, that they
Yeah.
don't even care about your imperfections. So that's the approach that I'm taking right now, and I try to serve, just like have the audience come first.
Man. That is, it's unfair. Gary Jones just commented, I try to solve. He put that in quotes. Listen, we could close up the live show right now, because what Sam just shared with you guys is a masterclass in and of itself. Like, this is the recipe right here. Take your imperfections, take your struggles, and think of somebody who will be struggling the same way that you are. When you find a solution for you, you can turn around and share that solution with others. And just like Gary wrote there, solve problems for people. When you start solving problems for people, they're not concerned about the lights. They're not concerned about, the way that the flow. They want the answer to the question, And I'm excited to see that. Hey, what's going on? Avery A. Belton, thank you so much for coming through. I see Keeping It Real, it said, I'm so excited to hear your support of EV Mux. I love EV Mux. Thank you, Samuel and Kirk. I am a big proponent of EV Mux as well. In fact, next Monday, we have Anthony Santana, head of content for EV Mux, on the channel. So excited about that. We'll start pushing some content about that as well. Travel Diva put it in the comments as well. I try to solve problems for people also. I'm a travel advisor. I love that. Listen, when you seek to serve, I think it's so apparent in what what Sam has said, and you guys are resonating in the chat, but when you seek to serve, I know that sometimes does not, says Grandma Joe, I think that sometimes doesn't necessarily always translate outside of faith-based spaces, but I'm telling you, I learned these principles from content creators who are not believers. They said to me, Kirk, seek to serve, right? Instead of side hustle, try side helpful, right? Instead of live shopping, try live solving, right? When you seek to serve, this is where you find your sweet spot. This is where you'll find, as he's experienced. How long has your channel been around? 12,000 subscribers, and you said you started in 2020. Is that right? It is amazing. It is amazing to see what is possible when we seek to serve. Oh, Kerwin Bornell says, I definitely put out fires for a living. Absolutely. Oh, man, Computer Pal came through. He says, wow, you have great guests. Oh, man, listen, I thank you so much, Computer Pal, for coming through and hanging out with us today. Side helpful, mic drop. Grandma Joe says, side helpful, mic drop. Listen, man, it looks like we may have had a disconnect with Sam's connection there, but we're going to try and get him back in. He just called back in just now. I'm going to try and get him back on the screen, but side helpful mic drop. Come on. Links for Samuel. Okay, let's make sure we get some of Samuel's links in the chat as well. Let me get him back on screen here. Sam, people are asking for your links, man. They want your YouTube channel link. It's just youtube.com/live
production tips tools.
Live production tips tools. I know. I put it in it's literally underneath your name on screen right now.
I'm just gonna drop it in the chat.
Yeah, do that. So Grandma Joe, he's putting that in the chat for you right now. But man, listen, when you seek to serve, this is the sweet spot for any kind of content. And I love how you've infused your entire journey into the content that you share on your channel, and it really puts you in a unique niche, because people know, like, man, Kirk's gonna cover all of the live platforms, right? Because then that's what I do. I mean, the most recent video I did on InEvent, this is not a consumer grade product. This is a corporate grade product, but they asked me to do a product video on there. I'm more or less one that wants to get in and kick the tires and see, what are some things that we can glean from this one that we haven't seen over from this one. But I love that you're in a space where you're saying there are people out there that want to do this live thing. They have whatever motivation or cause or reasoning behind that, but then they have this financial challenge. And then, of course, at the beginning, who wants to start paying ridiculous amounts of money in order to try and get their live message out there? So you are creating content, a resource library of videos that will help people to get across the line where that's concerned. I think that's absolutely honorable and awesome. Let me see some of these other comments here. Sweet. Will sub right away. Appreciate the heart and the info. Come on. I love that. Listen,
thank you guys.
We're loving this. We're loving this here, man. Backbeat says, nice. Definitely going to check out Sam's stuff. I'm trying to put my A7C to good use. I love that. Do you guys use Canva too? A lot of what you see on screen right now was designed in Canva. So the answer to your question, Grandma Joe, is yes. And I have been working on a playlist of videos for Canva that just cannot come out. I don't know what it is. It's like every time I'm ready to do some more Canva stuff, I've got all kinds of other things that are pulling at my attention. But yeah, listen, I want to make sure we get this audience question on screen as well. This is your time to help us, your time to engage in the conversation, which you have already been doing. And I'm excited about that. Share with us your best audio and lighting, like something. I want to qualify this. Okay. So the question says, share with us your best audio and lighting tips that have helped you improve your show. Right. So I want to be clear here. Share with us something that you have done in the comments. Share with us something you have done from a video perspective or an audio perspective or from a lighting perspective that has really helped to kind of give you the look and feel on camera that has helped your show. I would love to be able to hear some of your comments where that's concerned. Grandma Joe says, can you do some videos on DaVinci Resolve? I'm a beginner. Hey man, DaVinci Resolve is actually what I use as well. So, and I know, Sam, do you use DaVinci as well, or do you use Final Cut?
Premiere Pro.
Premiere. I love Premiere. I have a video editor and he uses Premiere, but whenever I edit my own stuff, I do use DaVinci, and so there's a lot to learn there. It's a very powerful platform. But yeah, talk to us in the comments, y'all. 17 of you guys on the live right now. We're loving the fact that you guys are all here hanging out with us, and we love the comments, the flow of comments that are coming through. But talk to us about some of the things that you've done in your own space that has helped you from a lighting perspective and from an audio perspective. Computer Pal says Power Director for me. Okay, cool. I've only used Power Director like once, so I wouldn't necessarily say that I'm a expert at that one at all. But I know that, listen, at the end of the day, because I have a friend that uses completely all web-based video editing tools, and their videos look great. So at the end of the day, what I like to say to folks is, what helps you to get the job done? Hey, if you can check that box and say that this thing is done, I think that's the right product for you. Anything Adobe Express for social. Bull City T-shirt says, tripods that are purpose set up for devices and ring lights to fill in the shadows in my space. Tripods that are purpose set up for devices. Oh, okay. So give us a little more on that one, Backbeat. I want to make sure that we understand what you're saying on that, because that I love the ability to use ring lights to fill some of the shadows in your space. But talk to us a little more about the tripod piece. Maybe I'm just reading it incorrectly. Did you catch what he said there?
Tripods made specifically for like ring lights or something specific. Maybe.
Okay. Maybe that's what it is. Yeah, maybe that's what it is, but I didn't quite. But either way, I love this. Let's get more of them in. Any other items? And while you guys are answering those, we're going to put our next question up for Sam on screen as well. So Backbeat says, having tripods that are dedicated to one device and not necessarily having tripods that you're constantly moving. Yes, that is a huge hack. That is a huge hack. That the one that many people should listen to. Having dedicated tripods for dedicated things. So tripod for the light, tripod for cameras, tripod for different things. Yeah. Bull CD says that's a good idea. That has been a game changer for me. In fact, what I'll also share on that Backbeat is that having this space dedicated, like I have a bag on my table over here that is full of stuff because I just got back from a trip and I took all that stuff with me to be able to do some live shows while I was on the road. But what I'll also say is that bag, I have not unpacked it. And all of the things that you see right here are ready to go. So having a dedicated space. So yes, similar to the idea of having that tripod, but I don't necessarily have to try to fiddle with it to get it right when I come back in my space to go live. I know that this space is already set up and ready to go. So that's one of the things. Kerwin says, I'm following Sam on Amazon as well. I love that.
Nice. Thank you.
Love to see people. I love to see the communities merging like this. Computer Pal says, what's your thoughts on green screens? I use it because I don't have a dedicated room. Hey, listen. Okay, let's see what we get here. Saba Nwampa says, what's up, Kirk? Hey, what's going on? Thank you so much for being here. Appreciate you. Always love when you come through, sis. Nice having a grab and go electronics bag for tools you'll need is a major benefit. Yes, Backbeat. I could not agree more. But let's get to Computer Pal's comment here. What do you think about green screens? Sam, what do you think about green screens?
I don't want to offend people. I think it's my personal preference. Mm-hmm. I think if you're starting out and you really need a green screen, I think it's okay, right? Let's say if you're trying to stream and maybe you don't have, the space is not big enough and you want to get going. I think it's okay, but it also depends on the type of production you're trying to do.
Mhm.
If you, let's say, if you are into gaming, I've seen a lot of gamers, even Mr. Beast, I think sometimes he uses green screen, but you can see like Mr. Beast has this kind of rough
Yeah.
production, and he does it on purpose. So if that's the kind of look you're going for, I think that's fine. But also, if you're starting out, just make sure it's well lit, and the king is perfect. I've seen a lot of people really who do a good job with it, and they got like nice kind of looking backgrounds, and it's well keyed out and everything. I think it looks good. But personally, I like a real camera, a real lens, and
Mhm.
a real background. I feel like there's always this fake element about the green screen, so I feel like it's kind of fake, and most people don't know how to handle it. I know in Hollywood, like, big VFX companies know how to work with it and
Oh
create
yeah.
amazing stuff. But an average person, I'll say, if you're starting out, you don't have a choice. I understand, but try to, get a real space with real backgrounds and everything. And it also going to challenge you to be a little more creative. So that's my take. I don't know about you, but
No, no, no.
that's where I stand.
No, we're very much in sync on this one because
Okay.
I am not. I just Kirk and Sam. I'm learning that Sam is in the same boat with me here. I am not a big fan of green screens, and for some of the reasons that you mentioned, but for a few that you didn't. And so what I'll say is, just right off the bat, when done well, they can look good. Right? I just want to agree that when they're done well, they can look good, but there is a specific, arrangement to doing them well. And then of course it also depends on the platform that you're using. And you do have to do the pre-work if you're gonna, I've produced shows in StreamYard, and people have this thinking that it's like Zoom. So they're like, oh, I don't need a green screen, a physical green screen behind me. I could just throw up my virtual background and it's going to work. And it
Oh,
doesn't.
that's
And
horrible.
it
That's
looks
horrible.
terrible. And so so for those reasons, I'm just like, it can be a hit or miss. But here's a piece that I really hone in on with my coaching clients. Your setup is part of your brand.
Yeah.
So somebody just said, Saba, my good friend Saba in the comments just said about your setup, Sam. She says, I need his being your entire lighting situation like yesterday. She loves your lighting situation, right? The way that the colors come in from the sides, there's a different color that's directly behind you. Then you can actually see one of the lights in the shot. This is a part of Sam's brand. If you've seen him live, if you watch his YouTube videos, you know that this setup that he's sitting in right now is a part of his brand. Hi from Paris, Eric says. Thank you guys so much for coming through. This is part of his brand. And what I say to folks is, the more you can pull people into who you are, that's actually what causes them to stop. And I don't, as cool and as sometimes, innovative as these virtual backgrounds can be, when it's physical, like when I can reach back and touch, like I had a guest on the show last week from StreamYard, Julie Riley, who's the social media and community manager for StreamYard. She was on. She has this same @sign in her office, and it was just like, oh shoot, where did you get yours? She's like, oh, I got mine from Hobby Lobby or something like that. And I was like, I got mine from like a yard sale or something like that. So I guess maybe the person that I bought it from got it from Hobby Lobby. But either way, it was just one of those cool little things where we can talk about something that's physically in our space. And you just don't, you kind of miss out on a lot of those opportunities when you are using a virtual background. Now, the person that said the question, I think it was, I'm not seeing his name now. Was it Backbeat? No, Computer Pal. The person that said it was like, I don't have a dedicated room. I don't have a dedicated room. Okay. Grandma Joe says she doesn't see the link yet.
Oh, I can post it again.
Yeah, she says, post it again because I didn't see it. Oh, maybe because you're not a moderator. I'm gonna have to post it. Yeah, I'm gonna have to post it. Let me see what I can do here, and it's just YouTube.com.
Yeah, live production tips tools.
I'm gonna type it in first to make sure I have it right. I do. All right. Okay, let's get that copied. I'm gonna put that in the chat right now. So that should go through to the chat, and you should have that, Grandma Joe. So thank you for letting us know. I didn't realize that had not copied. So it's in the chat now. I'm going to highlight that for you on screen just real quick. There it is, youtube.com/live production tips tools. It's under his name on screen, but I just want to make sure we caught that as well. Let me catch a couple of these other comments here. Darius O'Kane says, "What's up, Kirk and Sam? Great to see you guys." Bull CDT shirt says, "You get that with the white edge of the green screen, with the green screen, that white edge with the green screen." I that's one of the things I'm like, it's difficult.
It's never perfect. Like, to get it perfect, you have to be good. You know, you got to know what you're doing.
Yeah.
You know,
it seems simple, and that's what the myth of the green screen is. And because a lot of people spend a lot of time in Zoom, and Zoom has, all kinds of gymnastics that they're doing to make it just come out looking the way that it does. We just assume like, oh yeah, green, I'll just use a virtual background. I can be anywhere. So that's something to think through as well. Travel Diva says she just subscribed. I think that's awesome. It works very well for specific content, sports, gaming, etc. David Harvey says. And then we also have Computer Pal says, "Great advice on green screen. I would love to stop using it. Just my setup is in a busy area of the house." You have to listen. One of the things I also say, Computer Pal, and you are somebody that I would not call a novice or a beginner in this space at all, because I've seen your stuff. But one of the things I like to say to folks is, what helps you get it done? Right? We talked about that earlier. If your green screen allows you to go live, then let's use that until you can get to another space. But don't use I don't want to use the green screen anymore, so I'm going to stop doing my live shows. I'm going to stop creating content. Whatever allows you to get across the line. If a green screen allows you to get across the line, virtual backgrounds allow you to get across the line, then there you go. Eric says Samuel is a fan of EV Mux too. Yes, he is. He has got some good content on EV Mux, so I love that.
Yeah. And then for the green screen thing, because one of the things I've been there myself, even now, like I don't have enough. I mean, like right now I have a small office here. It's better than working from home. But before, I was really using a spare bedroom, and I had a tiny space. And one of the tips that I can actually give you, try to get, if you can afford one, get a camera with a specific lens, like a 50 kind of thing, right? Like a more close up kind of medium focal length that will kind of help you not show whatever you don't want to show in the room, right? You can create a small space in your room and just keep it tight and stay there. As long as you show your head and, a little bit of your body, that's really enough. That's what people need, So that would be something maybe.
That's a really great tip. And in fact, that kind of deals with our question in terms of optimizing different things for live stream audio and picture and lighting. One of the things that I love about you're familiar with my original space. Like, I'm in a room now that I have a little more space, but in my old studio, it was literally a storage closet. That we converted into a studio. And again, you just make it work for you. And I couldn't use a green screen in there even if I wanted to, because the space was too small.
Yeah, that's the thing.
I had to do those kinds of tricks, purchase a lens that gave me the focal depth that would help me then do your lighting the way that you want to do. Great tip. Just got the Sony ZV-1, Computer Pal just said. So the ZV-1 is a great one. It has specific lenses that work with it, but I believe you can still find a lens for that one that will help you to have that same focal depth that will help you to hide out.
The ZV-1 or the ZV-1?
He says ZV-1.
Oh, okay.
The ZV-1 has some specific lenses. The ZV-E10, you can use any lens, but the ZV-1 has some specific lenses that work with it. So that's cool there as well. Listen to this one. Listen to this comment right here. Grandma Joe says, I went to subscribe and I'm already subscribed on your channel. I just didn't realize it was you. So that's awesome. That is awesome. That is awesome. All right. Computer CP, you just need to tone it, use a more subtle background for the green screen. Okay, cool. Canon M50 lenses. That's what Bull City T-shirts is saying. Canon M50 lenses. Those are good. Those are good. All right, we got questions coming in. Let me see if we can grab a couple of these. My camera is great, just as you said, focusing on smaller background. But when I went on someone else's channel who had Zoom, camera would not connect. Thoughts? Camera would not connect. Camera would not connect. Oh, look at Chris Stone is on the live, man. I love when community members come, people who are in the live streaming space come through and hang out with us. I love that. Chris Stone, what's going on, man? Thank you so much for being here. Truly appreciate your presence. You're somebody that we both work with and highly respect in this space as well. 22 of you guys on the live today. We want to get some of your questions and comments in here as we look at some of these things. I want to answer. I want to see if we can't tackle Grandma Joe's question. So, Grandma Joe, how are you? How's your camera connected to the computer? Are you using a capture card or are you using some other means? Because it sounds like, it sounds like your camera works in your own streaming platform, but when you connect to somebody else's, it doesn't work. And so the question becomes, what are you selecting as your camera when you go into the other platform? So talk to us in the comments. Let us know what you got right there. She says, I have a Canon M50. I think I know what the problem is already. The Canon M50 does not have clean HDMI out, unless you have the Mark II. You have the Mark II. So Praise Radio says, what lens gives you this feature when using the Canon M50 Mark II? So do you want to take that one, Sam? Well, what lens?
Which feature?
Yeah. So I think he's talking about the focal depth, a tight shot.
Yeah. I think there's the Canon, the M50, I think there's a 50 mm with it. And there's another kit lens that comes with it.
Yeah. I believe so too.
Yeah. So if you want a tight kind of looking image, like mine is not really tight right now, but if you want something tighter, I think the 50 mm would be perfect. Other than that, you can go with the kit lens, which is, I'm not sure, it's a 15 to 35, something like that. I can't remember.
Okay.
But again, like I always encourage you to always try with the kit lens. Like personally, when I'm trying to design my space, when I'm getting into a new space, I try with the kit lens or a zoom lens, and I find the perfect focal length that will actually give me the look that I want. Like I will give you an example right now. You can see like it's a little wider. The reason why I do it is because I use the exact setup when I'm live streaming on Amazon. And one of the things that I was doing before that I didn't like in my other setup is because I always had to use my top-down shot to be able to show products. And that's not good. Well, it's good, but I wanted something that will actually allow me to, if I'm talking about something or if I'm doing some unboxing, I can hold my box or the actual product, even when I'm creating YouTube videos, because I use the same setup to create my YouTube videos, just to be able to hold something in my hands and actually show it to the audience and maybe do some unboxing. I still have my top-down shot camera as well, so it's really about like knowing, like being intentional, knowing what you want, knowing your space, and doing some testing before you actually decide on which lens to actually purchase. Right.
So they confirmed that the 15 to 45 is the kit lens for the M50, and then Grandma Joe came back saying, yes, I have the Mark II. The camera selection worked for StreamYard and Melon and others, but not Zoom. Do I need to disconnect and reconnect so it brings up the option for my camera again? So that is great information. We needed to know that it was the Mark II. So that means it does have clean HDMI out. So scratch what I said earlier. But what do you select? So when you go into StreamYard and you click on camera, what do you select in there? Do you select Elgato capture card? Does it just say Camlink 4K? Or do you actually go in and select the Canon M50? So that's the only piece there that we want to make sure that we're hearing. What are you selecting in StreamYard as opposed to what you're selecting in Zoom for us to be able to understand why it's not connecting.
Yeah.
Listen, we're on a roll right now. There's so many comments and questions coming in. Sam, take a second right now to kind of walk people through your lighting setup real quick, and be specific if you don't mind, in terms of what
Yeah,
are
yeah,
some of
yeah.
the products that you're using. Go ahead.
Yeah, for sure. I actually use for my key light. Unfortunately, I can't show you because I'm sending my ATEM Mini Pro feed to Kirk. But I was gonna use my other camera, but I can do it. But I'm using a huge softbox from Godox. I use the Godox SL60W.
We use the same.
Yeah, I think we use the same,
Yeah,
which
we
is
do.
an affordable,
Yeah.
perfect light for YouTube. Although I may change it, I don't know.
Hey,
um,
you never can
yeah,
tell.
and that's my key light. And then in the back, my background, I always keep it. I like the RGB lights. I have three RGB lights that will look like this, something like this, really,
Yeah.
very very small.
Hmm.
And those, I have them kind of projected back on my wall. Now the wall that I actually have is kind of blue, so it's not white. Usually in my other office, I mean my home office, because my walls are actually white, you can actually project your RGB lights on the white wall, and it's actually gonna create whatever color you project on it. So I
Hmm.
have a white spandex that I kind of mounted on the wall, and that's where I'm actually projecting my three RGB lights. Now I can create, because it's RGB, I can create any look that I want. I can
Right.
change colors. So I don't know why I like this kind of pinkish purple kind of thing,
I like it.
and a little bit of sky blue in the middle, just to create an effect. And that's pretty much it. And then I have this light here on the side. This is a Lume Cube
Luma Cube.
edge light. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what it's called. This is really to create, it's called the fill light,
Hmm.
just to create a little bit of like, because I have some shadows on this side, just to create this shadow effect to, if you know the laws of lighting, just to remove those shadows on this side. And that's that's my lighting really.
Yeah. Two quick things while we are on this. We have been having some internet issues between myself and Sam. So if you check out Sam's channel, you will see him in this exact same setup, but it's not fuzzy, right? So I saw your comment there, Olubayo, and I know we got a chance to meet earlier today. Thank you so much for coming through and hanging out with us tonight. But that is the reason why it's fuzzy. It is not because his setup is not. Trust me, his setup is gorgeous. It's just we are having some issues between my system and his, and we couldn't figure it out, and we just decided we're going to continue to go live because that's what you do, right? You got to
Yeah.
you got to still, as they say, the show must go on. And especially if you have that value to be able to share. Look, Saba is coming in the comments right now saying thank you, Sam, because she was the person who asked, can you just kind of walk us through your lighting setup right now? And I think that is so awesome that we were able to do that. And we're hoping that we're able to kind of get some of these pieces worked out for us as well. We have a couple other questions here, man. We're going to try and grab all of these, man. We got about 10 minutes. But I think we can get it done. Saba says, what must I do to be saved? Sam, what's a great mic to use for someone on a budget? This is a question from Travel Diva. What's a great mic to use for someone on a budget?
I have it here. I told you guys. So it really depends on how much you want to spend on your microphone. But right now, there's no better time than now.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, technology is really, really affordable. You can actually get a great, really good sounding microphone, even lights for under $50. And actually, I'm using a 30. I heard some people say they could find it for $33 on Amazon, but the other day I checked, it was actually 36. This is from Mono.
Mono.
I can send you a link. Yeah, I've been reviewing some of their stuff, and this is one of their microphones that I actually really really loved on budget. Now I like to use it, not because I have some other microphones. I have the Shure SM7B, but I like to use cheap stuff that kind of sound good on purpose, because I know a lot of people on a budget that may not actually need something like this. And if you like the way my microphone sounds, this is actually $36 on Amazon right now.
Mhm.
It's called, I need to find.
Does it require um a interface, or does it have
No,
or
it's a
is it
USB
it's
microphone.
USB? Okay, it's USB.
Yeah.
Good.
So yeah, so it's called the PM471 TS.
Okay.
That's the actual model number. So like
Here's what we'll
so it's
do.
USB.
We'll
Hmm?
put you have that on your Amazon page.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
Yeah, I think
Okay.
I
We'll
do.
we'll put your Amazon page. Kerwin or Gary, I don't know if you guys can just pop over to Sam's Amazon page. If you can throw that link in the comments, that would be greatly appreciated, so that we can get people. His Travel Diva says your sound is great. Computer Pal says, "Yep, that sound is great." So definitely, folks are interested, and I thank you for sharing that, because these are the things. Listen, these are the
Yeah,
reasons
so
why
like
we do what we do. Go
so
ahead.
why do I like this microphone? It has like a volume knob so you can control your gain.
Yes.
It has some headphones jack, which means you can actually, I'm listening to you through the microphone right now, which is cool. And yeah, I mean the material is not like wow, it's a mix of plastic and metal.
Mhm.
Obviously this is a a budget kind of friendly microphone. It's not supposed to be perfect, but it will do the job. It sounds good. Sometimes I throw in some Adobe Audition effects, and like it's just amazing. I like it. I really like it.
Excellent, excellent. And Kerwin has already done the link, so the link is in the chat, guys. I'm going to make sure that these are in the description of the video when we go offline today. But I want to make sure you guys are able to find him on Amazon, find him on his YouTube page, and on his Amazon page. Somewhere there, he has already reviewed this microphone. So this
Yeah.
microphone will be there, and you can be able to click there. And listen, fam, this is how you support. This is how you give back, by going to the creator's page and perusing what are some of the things that they have there. I know my Amazon page is there, and I know that Gary shared that earlier with all the things that I use in my studio. Sam and I both use some of the same lights, so you'll find some of those things there. But this is one of the ways that you can give back. People ask me all the time, "Hey, Kirk, man, there's so many things that you've done," and I'm certain that Sam, you get this as well. So much content that you created that has helped me out of a pinch, out of a jam. That's helped me to learn how to do things, helped me to level up. How can I give back? One of the ways, I'm not saying this is the only, but one of the ways is by going to the description of our videos, looking in some of those links, clicking some of those things, and checking through to see if you're in the market for a microphone. No better way to say thanks to Sam than going through and checking out the microphones that he has on his page. So we have that link in the comments. We want to make sure you guys are able to catch that. I want to get this one class question here from Kerwin. Kerwin says, Sam, are you doing any types of production, such as main stage production, interviews, and vlog type production? What types of productions are you doing?
Like outside of YouTube.
That's a good question. Kerwin, he's responding to you now, Kerwin. So he's saying outside of
Okay.
YouTube, or are you, because I know you have large scale church productions that you do as well. Am I correct on that, Sam? Yeah.
Yeah, so I do a little bit of I'm a videographer, so I shoot weddings,
Mhm.
stuff like that, weddings, parties. I do like gigs on live streaming as well,
Okay.
concerts, stuff like that. I do produce. I used to do actually before COVID. I was actually into events as well, so I was producing events, like bringing big. I mean, not big artists, but like working in that space.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, so yeah, I'm kind of like familiar with those kind of productions. I used to, I don't know, I think I shared with you the other day when I was on your stream, uh, on your live stream.
Hmm.
I own the TriCaster, which I should actually make a video about it. I own
Yeah.
the TriCaster 40. That's how I started, actually, I believe 10 years
Oh,
ago.
the TriCaster. Oh,
Into
yes.
Yeah, yeah. 10 years ago. That's how I started into live streaming game. I started when we used to have a Ustream.
Oh,
We used
yes.
to have live stream.
Yep. Boinks
Periscope, I
TV.
believe.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And we were
Mogulus.
paying for yeah, we were paying for those services. And
Yep.
TriCaster was that new tech was a thing. It was like they were like the first people to actually come up with an all-in-one kind of production
Production.
studio in one
Yeah.
box.
Hmm.
That was a thing. It was like $5,000. I still
Yep.
have it. I look at it every day, and I see my yellow box here. It's like this big, and I'm like, oh my god, I can't believe I paid $5,000 for this thing that doesn't even work anymore.
Anymore,
You know,
right?
yeah. So
TriCaster
that's
TriCaster is still in the game, but it's just
yeah,
for, large scale production. I mean, honestly, it's just there you have these different tiers now, and so
yeah,
a TriCaster. But I remember when I was working in South Africa when they got a TriCaster, and I remember us kind of drooling over it. We stayed up all night that night. It came in, and we set it
yeah.
up and we played with it. We plugged things in, and a TriCaster was king of the heap, for sure,
It
man. So
was
you're bringing
something.
back good memories.
Yeah, I was. It was something like if you had a TriCaster back in the day, people respect you. You
Yeah.
know,
Oh,
people
yes.
respect you, and it was my baby. Until now, it's well protected. But now I look at it, and I look at the 8 Mini Pro, and look at the
Yeah.
yellow box. I'm like,
Yeah.
oh my god, just gonna. I don't know what I'm gonna do with this thing. This is my baby.
Yeah. You
Like,
can't get rid of it, but it's like it's
yeah,
it's it's
but
it's coming
it
to the
has
point
no
now where it's like
value. So
yeah, it's a dinosaur,
like,
man.
yeah, I don't know. So now I'm trying to recycle it. Maybe I'll try to make a streaming kind of PC out of it. I don't know. I'm trying to come up with something because I don't want
Yeah.
to get rid of it.
Listen, I want to grab a couple of things here. A Bull City t-shirt says amazing for $38. Grandma Joe says sweet. Silverhead Fitness says Amazon Prime sale October 11th and 12th. That is correct. You can check out. You can find me on Sam's show tomorrow, and we'll be talking about some stuff. We're gonna have a great time. Sam's mono mic YouTube review. Kerwin Burnell put that in the comments. I love that. Praise Radio Show says I just purchased the mic for a friend. Thank you guys. Thanks, you guys are great. Appreciate that. Listen, this is what it's
Awesome.
about. Live
If you want
solving.
to step it up, sorry to interrupt you.
No, go ahead, please.
If you have extra $10, there's another one that I like from Toner.
Okay, from Toner. Yeah.
Yeah, it's called the TC40.
Hmm.
Same thing, but this one is a little better because the material is good. It's more like metal construction, and
Hmm.
it's gonna come with the whole, like, the boom arm and
The
everything,
boom arm. Yeah.
kind of ready to go. So this is like my favorite kind of on budget microphone. It's gonna cost, I believe, 40, maybe 49 or $50. If you really really broke, this is gonna be good.
But it sounds
But
great
yeah,
though.
if
It's
yeah,
the
this one
mic
sounds
sounds great.
great. I
Yeah.
really love it. Yeah. So this is another one to actually consider. It's called the TC40 from Toner. It's a really good one.
Yeah, absolutely. People are chiming in saying that they have subscribed. They're checking on our Amazon pages. I love that. Make sure you guys are subscribed because you're going to see me and Sam tomorrow on Sam's channel. So I want to make sure you guys are there. David
Yeah.
Harvey says it's crazy how software has replaced so much hardware for cheaper. It is true. It is true.
Yeah.
Travel Diva says, I have to go. Thank you, Sam and Kirk. Great information. Listen, we want to thank you guys all for hanging out with us tonight. We covered a lot of what we wanted to share, but I want Sam to just kind of take a second to say we talked about lighting, but talk about a little bit about what your audio tips might be for somebody who is, we talked about a mic that's on a budget, but what are some audio tips that can be done to really, level up your sound game, not just from a microphone standpoint, but what are some of the things that can be done on the mic?
I think it comes down to, I don't think it's about getting an expensive microphone or some expensive gear. I
Agreed.
think my biggest tip that I can actually give to you guys is really focusing on improving and learning your craft.
Yeah.
Get the skills. When it comes to, especially for live streaming, it's a little tricky because you're doing it live, right?
Mhm.
So some microphones or some audio, you may be using an interface or using an audio mixer. You need to learn how to kind of process your signal before it goes live. That's like the next level kind of thing. And obviously for starting, you just get a microphone that will sound good, kind of plug and play, and then you go live. But as you keep going, try to understand or to learn how to process your sound. So it could be maybe using things like Adobe Premiere Pro, GarageBand, anything that, any DAW or like digital audio workstation that can actually help you add some compression, add some limiter. So limiter is going to actually help you to avoid clipping. Like right now, because I'm using a budget microphone, if I was to scream, I'll probably start clipping, which is not good. Right. So add a little bit of compression and just that's going to make your microphone or your sound in general. It doesn't have to be a microphone, could be some music performance or anything. It's going to help you kind of balance your levels, kind of be consistent a little bit. And add a little bit of EQ, very, very important. So learn those skills. That's going to turn you into a professional kind of streamer. It doesn't matter what you do. Could be podcasting, could be a video podcast, could be live music. Same concept applies on vocals, instruments. It doesn't matter. So after you just try to get the gear that will get you started, kind of plug and play, get the basics, and then after that, try to invest into learning really how to process your audio, especially when you live streaming. You have to get it right. And then after that, you just need to add a little bit of routing. If you like, personally, I use visual cables. I know you use loopback for your audio routing. So those kind of tricks that will kind of help you to have the processing kind of live and have it live streaming at the same time on your live. That's going to change the game for you and you're going to sound professional.
Absolutely. One of the things, one of the base things that I love about what you share there is, first of all, you have to understand if you're in a budget time zone, right? If you're in a budget space right now, right? The name of the game is getting what you can get on your own budget. Yeah. Do not look at somebody else's budget. And I love the way he framed that. If you're on a budget microphone, there are some things that you're just not going to be able to do. That's just, that's just the truth. Yeah. And there's nothing wrong with that. Yeah. But the other piece that I love, and Bull City T-shirts is kind of touching on when he says we're in deep water right now, and that is there are principles and practices related to audio engineering. This is why it's an entire field. Somebody said to me, I was like, man, have you heard, I heard the audio at your church, and at my church, I have an audio engineer. His name is Charles Rogers. The man is phenomenal. But this is his craft. This is his expertise. This is his thing. And so they're like, man, how can we get it to sound like that? Is there some video you could do? I was like, no, he's had years of experience doing this kind of work. So there's a respect and a reverence for the craft that I think that live streamers, content creators need to approach. We must approach with a certain level of reverence. Yes, I have a microphone and people can hear me. So that's checkbox number one. I can be heard. Yeah. But now, as you look to tweak and to optimize and to level up so that you can bring other things into your microphone and have that all streamed out. But then how can you control individually which one is too loud, which one is clipping? All of those things are things that you are going to start to think about down the road a ways, right? We don't want to overwhelm anybody. But at the end of the day, when we're talking about what are some of the things that we can do to level up? One of them is going to be a mindset trick. And that is, I need to learn this space. When he talked about signal chain and a DAW, right? The digital audio workstation. Don't be put off by these things. This is the space that you're in. And I'm telling you, your content will be that much better for it. There are mic techniques. Just learning how to speak into your mic is going to be critical. Some people is like, man, I got the mic that you have, but it doesn't quite sound the same. I've learned how to speak into this mic. You get my point. Yeah. So it's not just technical. While there is a technical component to it, but it's not just technical. One of the things that somebody just said a second ago is hit the record button. I firmly believe in the record button. Hit the record button so that you can have a test. You don't need to go live to test. You can hit the record button to test. And when you hit the record button, you can kick the tires a little bit, create a safe space for you to be able to completely tear it all down and then figure out what doesn't work, figure out what does work. And it's kind of the name of my entire show, how it all works. But the whole idea is you can't, listen, this is not brain surgery. This is not medicine. No one's going to die. No one's ever died from getting audio wrong on their live stream. So you have a space where you can actually play around. And here's the thing I love about doing it while live is that I have a track record. I can go back to my earliest videos and see from whence I've come. Right? I can go back and see, man, like, oh man, look at what I was doing there. Oh my goodness, look at where the mic is. Oh, look what I was doing. You can see, this trajectory, this journey that I've been on, and we've all experienced it together. And that's what I love about, this space and content creation. And of course, I love what Sam has been able to share with us for the show today. We're going to close things out, but Bull City T-Shirts has one more question. Best budget main light before you go. What's the best budget main light? Best budget main light. Now, this is in our opinion. So go ahead, Sam.
Yeah. I think it depends on the budget. Like, to be honest, you can start with a $50 or $30 soft light, soft box. That's the first thing. I'll say personally get a soft box before you even buy an actual light.
Yeah,
because that's the thing that's gonna create an even look on your face. And then you can get any light that can actually get through the soft box. Anything you can get on Amazon for like $50, $60.
Yeah,
that should do the job. And just like what I said, your skills are more important than the gear. You need to know the color temperature of whatever lights they're using, because if your color temperature is, I don't know, maybe 3200, and then you set your camera white balance at 7200, it's gonna be
whatever,
terrible. It's gonna look bad. So it's about knowing the exact light to get. I mean, really get any light, just get your camera settings right to match the color temperature from the light. But if you have a little bit of money and it's still on budget, I think the light that I'm actually using, the SL60W, I think
the Godox
is actually the Godox SL60W. I think it's a good light on budget.
Agreed.
I think it's around 110, something like that.
Yeah. I actually agree with you on that. And I know that some people are like, man, $110 is a budget light. And they see this is where, that back and forth conversation must happen.
Yeah.
Because I'll give you one more example, and that is a wireless HDMI devices. I bought the Hollyland set for I think it was $600 for one pair. Somebody was saying to me, like, is there any budget HDMI wireless transmitters? I was like, this one is the budget one.
Yeah.
And they said, what? $600. I'm like, but the other one, the next one up is $3,000.
Yeah.
So 600 is budget.
True.
And that's why we're saying the light that we have actually for 110, the Godox SL60W is actually a budget light. Because you can spend thousands of dollars on lighting. So just keep that in mind as well. You want to keep some of that stuff in mind as well. Perspective.
Yeah.
Depending on the space that you're in. Somebody might say, hey, what's a budget camera? I'm like, well, are we talking webcam or are we talking DSLR?
Yeah.
If you're talking DSLR, you need to have about $1,000. You can get something a little cheaper than that, but you need to budget for that, because total cost of ownership means lens, means tripod, means battery pack, means HDMI cable, means capture card. So about $1,000. Go ahead.
Yeah.
I didn't know I cut you off.
But that's what I wanted to say. Like you have to decide on how much you want to spend. If you say, I can't spend more than $50, you're going to find a good light for $50. It may not be as good as the SL60W or any other better light. However, if you know what you're doing, you may actually get a good looking picture out of that light. If you have your camera settings right, you understand the principles of lighting and everything, you're gonna look good on camera, you know. So it's really about I think your skills are more important than the gear, for sure. And as you do it, you get started, you're gonna get to a point where you're like, you know what, I think I need to upgrade. After a few months, 6 months, 8 months in, using a cheap light, using a cheap microphone, you're gonna feel it. You get maybe a little bit of money from something, I don't know, and then you're gonna start investing into your gear, and kind of improve your setup.
Oh yeah. Listen, David Hunt said it best. I think this is an entire masterclass. He said, David says, I'm going to have to catch the whole show later because I know he's driving right now. He's making his way back up, making his way home. He's on the road. Safe travels to you, David. He's one of my mods. I want to just say a word of thanks to all the mods who have been absolutely phenomenal tonight. And here comes another mod. Kerwin says, build the skills, get fed up, then go buy what you really need. All right. So this is one of the things I like to say to folks is your gear acquisition should not outpace your skills to utilize the gear. If you haven't completely exhausted all the functionality and uses of your current gear, then it's really not time to start looking to purchase new gear just yet. And that's a great place to stay. Your setup will never be complete. Never be complete, David Harvey says. And I completely agree with that. It will never be complete. But
No,
man, Samuel,
that's true.
There's just so much things. Fantastic discussion as usual, knowing how it all works. Thanks. Sam, this has been absolutely phenomenal. We've gone way over our time, but I thank you so much for being patient and just kind of helping me field some of these questions that were coming through tonight. This is what we do here on second Mondays of the month. It's our mid-month huddle. The agenda is loose, and we have more latitude in the agenda to be able to just answer all your questions. And I'm excited that we were able to have Samuel come through tonight and hang out with us, answer some questions, share his unique perspective, and for you guys to be able to introduce to him. Make sure you guys check us both out tomorrow because we'll be on Sam's channel, both on YouTube and Amazon, correct?
Just YouTube. I'm
just
gonna be
YouTube, okay.
streaming on Amazon too, but not for the show.
Okay, got it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
we'll be on his YouTube channel tomorrow. So make sure you come through and check us out for that. But Sam, I want to say a word of thanks to you for taking the time today to come out, hang out with us, share from your considerable years of experience and expertise on some of the video, lighting, audio things that we can do to help ourselves level up.
Thank you, man.
Don't go nowhere, Sam. Listen, fam, it has been another phenomenal show. Another show is in the books, and we're excited about that. Thank you guys so much for coming to hang out with us today. I know we're over our time. In fact, I'm looking over on my other screen because the DIY Video Creators Group is about to start. So our monthly, I should say, meeting is about to start over here in Zoom. So I'm looking at that screen and I'm like, oh my goodness, I'm way over my time. But I want to just say a word of thanks to all you guys. You gave of your time, which is your most precious commodity. And we do not take that for granted. I want to thank you guys so much for coming through, hanging out today, asking your questions, engaging with us. Every second Monday, we have this space. Next month, we'll have something similar as well, and we're gonna have a couple of. Listen, I'm confirming some names for next month. I've got one big one coming for next month as well. I'm really excited about that. But that being said, we have Anthony Santana, who is the head of content for EV Mux, coming on the show with us next week, same time, Monday, 7 p.m. Central Time, here on How It All Works. I'm excited to have him come through so we can chop it up with him. We can ask some of those same kind of questions. I also want you guys to get to know him a little bit better. You know how we do here at How It All Works. We always want to hear the creator backstory, but we also are going to talk about EV Mux and some of the things that we are doing with that platform. As always, it's your boy Kirk Nugent, the Geek Speaker Preacher, hoping that somewhere in the video today you were able to figure out how it all works. And we'll see you, family, in the next video. Later. Replay Squad, you know what to do. If you're watching this, make sure you check out some of these videos